This is episode 10 of my box cake mix series. And I'm going to show you how to take a regular box of cake mix, kick it up a notch, and take it to a whole nother level. Hey y'all, I'm Valerie and welcome to my kitchen. In today's video, I'm sharing 5 delicious box cake mix recipes that are easy to make and everyone's gonna love them. Okay y'all, let's get started. This butter pecan pound cake is one you do not want to miss out on. I'm starting out in a large bowl. You're going to add in a box of butter pecan cake mix. Mine is a 13.25 ounce box. And we're not going to follow the directions on the back there. Instead, to that dry cake mix, you're going to add 4 eggs, half a cup of milk, 1 cup of oil, and half a cup of sour cream. And what takes this cake over the top, you're going to add in 1 container of coconut pecan frosting. You just add it right on into that bowl there, and you got to trust me on this one. Now I'm using my electric mixer, and I'm going to mix it until it's very well combined. You want to beat it until it's nice and smooth. Now we're ready to pour it in the pan. I'm using a bundt pan, and I did grease mine with Crisco, and I sprayed it with Baker's Joy nonstick spray. And you're just going to pour that cake batter right on in there. And if you want, you can kind of smooth it out, but I just kind of give it a little shake, a little shimmy, and it evens it all out. Now this is going into the oven to bake at 350 for about 15 minutes. Or just until a toothpick inserted comes out clean. I did let mine cool for 10 minutes before I flipped it out onto the cake plate. And this is always my favorite part when I make a bundt cake. This one came out perfect. Now I like to let mine cool for a little bit before I do anything to the top. If you want, you can microwave some more coconut pecan frosting to drizzle over the top, or you can make up a glaze for it. But I just kept it simple and dusted it with some powdered sugar. This is just simple to do, and to me it makes it look so pretty. Now that is all there is to this cake. This is a good one to make for holidays or family get-togethers, or make it to enjoy at home. It's also a really good one to make for a potluck. I'm pretty sure this is my family's new favorite cake recipe because it was gone in no time. Now that I'm thinking about it, I bet you could add some more chopped pecans to the cake batter, just to give it a little more pecan flavor. But I'm telling you, this cake is absolutely delicious. You have to try it. You are going to love this blueberry cheesecake dump cake. To begin, we're going to make up the cheesecake part of this recipe. In a medium-sized bowl, I added 8 ounces of softened cream cheese, along with 1/4 cup of sour cream, half a cup of powdered sugar, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now you're going to mix this until it's smooth and well combined. And we're going to set it aside for just a minute. I'm using a 9x13 baking dish for this recipe. And just to be on the safe side, I sprayed it with nonstick spray. Now we're going to add in 2 of the 21-ounce cans of blueberry pie filling. And when you get it in there, you're just going to spread it out to cover the bottom of that dish. Now we're going to take that cheesecake mixture that we made up just a little bit ago, and you're going to spoon it or dollop it evenly over the top of that pie filling. And this part does not have to be perfect, just as long as you get it kind of evenly spread out. Now I'm sprinkling over a 15.25 ounce box of French vanilla cake mix. You could also use white cake mix if you had that too. Now after you get it on there, you do not want to stir this, but I did take the back of my fork and kind of spread it out. Just make sure you don't disturb anything underneath. Now you're going to drizzle over 1 cup of melted butter. If you want to, you can cut it into tabs and then place those evenly across the top. But that takes way too long for me to do, so I just used melted butter and then I took my fork and kind of spread it out. Y'all have to let me know, when you do a dump cake, do you do melted butter on top or do you cut the butter into tabs? Now this goes into the oven to bake at 350 for about 40 minutes or until the topping is browned and the blueberry filling is bubbling around the edges. We like to serve this warm, topped with vanilla ice cream. And y'all, there's so many different variations you could do with this. You could do strawberry pie filling with maybe a lemon cake mix, but this is so good. This chocolate peanut butter poke cake is out of this world good. We're going to start out by making the cake. I'm using a 15.25 ounce box of dark chocolate fudge cake mix, or any kind of chocolate cake mix will work. But we are going to mix this up according to the directions on the back of the box. I added the eggs, the milk, and the oil, and then I mixed it until it was well combined. By the way, if you're new, I would really love to have you here. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. That way you get notified of all my future videos. Okay, we're going to make this in a 9x13 baking dish, and I did spray it with nonstick spray. You're just going to pour in that cake batter, and then kind of spread it out into an even layer. Now this bakes per the directions on the back of the box. And when this comes out of the oven, you're going to go ahead and poke holes all in the top of that cake. And I started out with the mixer attachment, but I was in a hurry and that cake was still very, very hot. I should have waited, but that cake was sticking to that attachment, so I ended up switching to a wooden skewer. I set that aside for just a minute while I made up the peanut butter filling. In a large measuring cup, I have 3/4 cup of creamy peanut butter. I did microwave it for about 30 seconds just so it was easier to stir. Into that peanut butter, I added 1 can of sweetened condensed milk and 1/3 cup of milk. And yes, I was really pushing it here with this measuring cup. I should have used something a little bigger, but I just made do with what I had. As long as you get it mixed together good. Now I'm grabbing that cake and I'm going to pour that peanut butter filling all over the top. And after I get it all on there, I'm going to use an offset spatula just to spread it out and kind of really work it down into those holes. It is a lot though, and it will sink down into those holes, but not all of it. There will be a good bit left on top, but it's okay. That peanut butter is delicious. I just smoothed it out and spread it out evenly, and then I set it to the side so I could make up the topping. In a large bowl, I added 1/2 cup of peanut butter, along with 1 teaspoon of vanilla and 8 ounces of Cool Whip topping. Oh, and I did microwave that peanut butter and I let it cool until it was room temperature. Now you're going to fold all this together until it's well combined. Now we're going to grab that cake and grab that peanut butter whip topping and add it to the top. And just spread it out and make sure it covers everything. And here's where you can get creative and add on anything you like. I added on some Reese's minis. I did cut them in half, but I just sprinkled them over the top. You could also add on some Reese's pieces. Now I'm using this chocolate magic shell, and y'all, I forgot to shake the bottle. And you have to shake the bottle. All that liquid was on top and it just spilt all over the cake there. So I just kind of dabbed it off with a paper towel, and it clearly says on the top to shake well, but I just wasn't even thinking about that. But after I got it all mixed up, I drizzled it evenly over the top. But you could also do some Hershey syrup. Oh, and you could also add on some milk chocolate chips. Those would be really good. And I like to chill this for a few hours, or even better, overnight, until I'm ready to serve it. I'm telling you, if you love peanut butter and you love chocolate, this cake is for you. It is out of this world good. So this is a great one you can make a day or two ahead of time if you need a dessert to take somewhere, like maybe a family gathering or a potluck or something. But if you take it somewhere, you better get ready, because everyone is going to be asking you for the recipe. It is so good. Okay, y'all are getting a little treat here with these Cool Whip cookies. I have my niece Lila helping me out, and she loves to bake. So to make these delicious cookies, in a large bowl, you're going to add in 1 box of cake mix. And we're using a 15.25 ounce box. And Lila wanted to do red velvet, but you could do any flavor you like. And we're not following the directions on the back of the box here. So to that dry cake mix, you're going to add 1 egg. Now you're going to add in an 8-ounce tub of whipped topping. And you do want to make sure this is completely thawed before you use it. Okay, now she's going to use the electric mixer and mix it until it's well combined. And you can absolutely do this by hand, but it's a lot easier with that mixer. And after you get it mixed up, we're going to do some add-ins here. She sprinkled in about 1/2 cup of mini semi-sweet chocolate chips. But depending on what kind of cake mix you use, you could do white chocolate chips or even butterscotch chips. And after you get those all folded in, we're going to scoop them with a cookie scoop. This dough was very, very soft and very, very sticky, so we really couldn't roll it. So we just scooped it up, and you're going to need a small bowl of powdered sugar. And Lila just dropped that cookie scoop right down into the bowl of powdered sugar. Then you're going to roll it around to make sure it's completely covered. And when you do this, it's less messy if you scoop the cookie dough, drop it in the powdered sugar, and kind of pick up the powdered sugar from around it and sprinkle it on top, and then kind of use your fingers to toss it around. And we didn't flatten them out or anything, but they go in the oven to bake at 350 for 10 to 12 minutes. You'll know they're done when the edges are set and the tops start to crackle. This made 2 pans, by the way, and we just baked them 1 pan at a time. Here they are out of the oven, and they look so good. Now we did let ours cool on the cookie sheet there for a little bit before we transferred them to a wire rack. They ended up being so pretty, and we can't wait to try these with different flavors of cake mix. And I mean, it's only 4 ingredients: cake mix, Cool Whip, egg, and powdered sugar, so you really got to give them a try. Do it. Yay.
That should be. 10 out of 10.
Okay. These are not like a cookie, they're more like a cake cookie. They're super soft on the inside, but the outside is a little crisp, and that inside is just kind of soft and dense. But we'll definitely be making these again. And y'all have to let me know below, what flavor cake mix are y'all most excited to try these with? And you know I had to give you a shot of the inside here because these were delicious. And Lila was on a red velvet kick this day, and she also made a red velvet cake, so I wanted to share that with you too. Now she just used a cake mix for this and 2 cans or 2 containers of the cream cheese frosting, but she did an amazing job. And we all loved it. Is that good? Yay!
so good.
These orange Creamsicle cake mix cookie bars are a 10 out of 10. In a large bowl, I'm adding 1 box of orange cake mix, and this is a 15.25 ounce box. After you get that in there, you're going to add in a small box of instant vanilla pudding mix. And I think that was a 3.4 ounce box. I also added 1/4 cup of milk, 3/4 cup of vegetable oil, and 2 eggs. Now you're going to mix this together until it's just combined. And it's going to be a lot thicker than a regular cake batter. And I'm just scraping down the sides of the bowl here just to get everything that I missed. I'm using a 9x13 pan for this, and I did line it with foil, and I sprayed it with nonstick spray. Now you're going to pour in that orange batter, and y'all, this stuff smells amazing. After you get it in there, I used my offset spatula to spread it out and make sure you get all the way to the edges with it. Now this goes into the oven to bake at 350 for 24 to 28 minutes. You'll know it's done when it starts to get golden brown around the edges. I let that cool for a minute, and then I set it aside so I could make up the orange glaze for the topping. In a bowl, I added 3 tablespoons of orange marmalade. And this is kind of hard to stir, so I did microwave mine for 20 to 30 seconds just to soften it up. It's just a whole lot easier to mix that way. Now to that orange marmalade, you're going to add 1 cup of powdered sugar and 1 to 2 tablespoons of milk. I would just do 1 tablespoon at first, and then stir it, whisk it, mix it all together, and then if you feel like it's still a little too thick, you can add some more milk. Okay, I got the glaze ready, and now I'm just going to pour it over the top of that cookie bar. And you do kind of want to work fast with this because it will start to set up, and the faster you go, it just smooths out a lot easier. I used my spatula to spread this out just because I already had it sitting out, but you could also use an offset spatula. And I let this completely cool, then I popped it in the refrigerator until that glaze on top was completely set. These bars, these cookie bars, are so good. If you love orange, you're gonna love them. But I do want to say, if you're not a fan of orange, you could also do strawberry cake mix and use strawberry preserves or strawberry jam for the glaze. Or use any kind of jam or preserves that you think would be good in this. You could even do lemon cake mix with strawberry glaze. These are not crunchy like a cookie. They're more soft, but they're more dense than a cake. And that glaze on top is delicious. I really hope you enjoyed this video. You may also like these. Don't forget to subscribe down below for more easy recipes, and I will see you in the next one.